It's Red Hot 90s Action Summer here at the Blood and Black Rum Podcast. We're covering your favorite sweaty 90s action movies all month long. Expect stunts galore, transportation mishaps, and lots of henchmen. We've got Schwarzenegger, Chan, and possibly even Reeves. It's going to be hot and steamy all August long. Hey guys, welcome back to the Blood and Black Rum Podcast. I'm Ryan from ClosePlaytation.com. I'm joined with my co-host Martin.
How's it going?
It's pretty good. We today is full of flames, gunshots, fisticuffs,
Crime.
Crime. You name it. Because we are starting. It's August, right? It's just turned around to August, so we're starting our red hot 90s action summer reloaded this time. Because we're on, basically, it's like season 2 of the Red Hot 90s action summer. In the past,
which is season 5 of our Red Hot Action Month. Because
I think that's true, right?
Yeah, we did 3 months of Red Hot 80s Action Month. Watched some great films like Rebuary. Well, I mean, Red Brown. Don't want to steal that from Spoonie. Invasion USA, one of my favorite Chuck Norris films ever. Hindsight being 2020.
Accidentally started Israeli Palestinian war for that one.
The genocide in Gaza. Yep, because we do.
I mean, I guess. Do you really ever start a war with them, or does it just never finish? But we're regardless kicked off another scenario with them. Not that that's funny or anything, but yeah. That happens. Just a weird poinky dink. So yeah, we did 3 years of 80s months, and we decided, you know what, it's probably time to move on. You can only do so much of the 80s films, and I'm sure we'll go back to it. And we didn't even come close to covering all kinds of 80s action films that we would like to continue with. But at some point, you want to move on and cover a new decade. And it was time to move on last year to the 90s. And we had a weird, unintentional thematic thing going on last year where we picked a bunch of movies that all centered around transportation of some sort. Now, I don't know, that's not necessarily a thing that happened in the 90s. It's not a trope of the 90s of every film had transportation issues in it.
We tackled them all. We tackled buses. We tackled boats. We tackled flight.
Yep. Yep. And then we even got a thing that was in what was it? The Jackie Chan movie that we did.
Oh, Rumble in the Bronx. Hovercraft.
Rumble in the Bronx. Yeah, the hovercraft. That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. You even tackled hovercraft. So, yeah. So, but again, we wanted to continue on with the 90s for a little bit because there's lots of stuff from the 90s, and we covered certain niche elements of the 90s, but we definitely did not hit every big name of the 90s. So it was important to continue on the tradition for at least another year of 90s action films. And again, I think this year we were somewhat lenient on what we would term an action film. We kind of jumped into different subgenres of action films in this, in our, block of 90s action films. I feel like we did a pretty good job of picking things that were quite different from last year, when you think about a 90s action movie. So that's fun. A pat on the back for us. Good job. And I don't know that we haven't released the full, officially released the full listing. I'll probably make a photo or something, which I haven't done yet. That kind of just is our cover photo for the 90s action month I did last year. But
I can't believe you're going to just make it. Just have fucking AI do it now.
Yeah. AI, please make me.
We don't need the artistry. Just have Meta spit some shit out.
Be careful, even just mentioning AI on this, it started creating that image and using up carbon footprints galore. So yeah, we have to be careful when we talk about AI. we're going to talk about computer-generated issues as well later on, but not today. Today, we're talking about, I mentioned the man himself, Jackie Chan, which we've had on nearly every single Red Hot month, right?
Except the first.
We didn't do any for the first, so, but other than that, and again, this is, so Red Hot Action Summer has been sort of a, an experience for me too, because I think I've mentioned on multiple episodes before when we've covered Jackie Chan films, I'm not super well versed in Jackie Chan movies. They're just, I've seen a few. They're just movies that I just never really got into for whatever reason. I think I've probably seen more Jet Li movies than I have Jackie Chan movies, to be honest with you. So it's been an experience to kind of see all of those that I've missed out on. And like we were talking about, we did Police Story 1 and 2. We've done Rumble in the Bronx. And today we're here to talk about a different Jackie Chan movie, probably one of the most well-recognized Jackie Chan films, at least in the United States. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, it's his big breakthrough into the American market.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when you think about Jackie Chan in the United States, this movie is probably the one that really comes to mind. And again, too, it is one of the most shining moments of like the buddy cop series as well, of types of action films. Because it was really like, and we might want to blame this movie for the buddy cop antics of and tropes that we were to get. I'm not saying it's the first one. I'm not an expert on them by any means. There's probably a few before. I mean, Lethal Weapon is a buddy cop film. And we might not have referred to it as such, but it was a buddy cop film. But this is
you're forgetting one of the greatest buddy cop films of all time.
What?
John Belushi's. Oh, sorry, not John Belushi. Jim Belushi's.
Jim Belushi's. K9? Yeah. Man's best friend. Yeah, you know it. Probably one of his shining moments in film history. It's K9. That would be a fun one to do at some point as well. It was definitely not.
We'll do a Jim Belushi month where we're doing according to Jim.
It's definitely not high on the list of films for Action Summer, but you know what? We'll
honorable
keep that
mention.
in mind. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I think this film is probably a shining example for both the buddy cop film, the Jackie Chan United States film, and an example of a dude being in a film and getting misrecognized as Chris Rock, like all the time. Which, I think for a long time there were people that would still refer to this movie and they'd be like, yeah, the Jackie Chan Chris Rock movie. You're like, what? What are you talking about? Chris Rock's never been in a Jackie Chan movie. Do you mean Chris Tucker?
Wouldn't that be something?
If Chris Rock was in a Jackie Chan movie, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean, they do have similar characteristics, but...
No, they don't.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Rock's definitely got more of a more abrasive... I don't know. Well, I mean, you can find Chris Tucker abrasive in a different sense, but... Yeah, I don't know. They were often confused, especially in, I remember very specifically also being confused back in the day. Like,
I was going to say, and Chris Rock's actually a really talented comedian.
Yeah. Wow, what a nice disparaging comment on that's, understatement about Chris Tucker.
Well, yeah, but I mean, for fuck's sake, Chris Rock's an actual honest-to-God hilarious comedian, and he was too busy being in Lethal Weapon 4, so.
Oh, that's right. In
Beverly Hills Ninja.
Yes. Yeah, no, Lethal Weapon 4, not really one that I know too well, but I do remember him being in it. All right, well, we're talking about Rush Hour from 1998. A year nice and dear to us as well. We would have been about 9 years old at the time. Did you see Rush Hour like when it came out, or was this something later that you got into?
No, I saw it when it like came out, not in theaters, but I do remember it being rented frequently. I rented it frequently as a child, and Rush Hour 2. Like I said, I've seen them a million times. Not only that, too, from the play that they would always get like on TBS or FX back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
well versed in the film.
FX really loved to play this movie. I think they played Rush Hour 1 and 2 quite often.
That whole, like, you remember DVD, like, you know, like, hey, if you get the DVD, here's the extras that are on the Rush Hour 2 DVD.
Yep. I definitely remember that, yeah. Like, here's some stuff that you would see, yeah. Then
it was nothing but it was a 7-hour block of just on repeat Rush Hour and X-Men.
Yeah. And so you have good memories and nostalgia for Rush Hour, is that right?
Oh yeah. I did see Rush Hour 3 in theaters in 2007 when it came out. Mm-hmm. And I remember we were in high school. It was our senior year. When it came out, a couple of friends of our friend group back then, one of them who was our big film buff, we were both just like cracking jokes left and right because the trailers for those films were like, a Brett Ratner film. Brett Ratner, Rush Hour 3. Like anyone really gave a shit about like Brett Ratner films. Like Brett Ratner was like, it was like you know, he was John Carpenter or something. And I remember Rush Hour 3 not being good. At all.
For me, I don't really have much experience with Rush Hour. I thought I had seen it, but then watching it again, I was like, none of this looks familiar to me. So it was just Rush Hour 2 that I had seen, which I did not realize. I thought I had seen them both, but apparently not. You know, interestingly, it would be interesting to go back to Rush Hour 2 and see if I remember that accurately, or maybe I'm just like completely messed up.
But you're probably thinking of like Shanghai Nights.
Yeah, I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Just Owen Wilson.
I'm pretty sure I saw Rush Hour 2. But again, obviously I don't have a great memory because I thought I had seen this one, and I definitely
I know what it is.
What?
You were playing Sleeping Dogs. It's the same thing.
Yeah, right.
Which is funny because even one of the main villain in this movie, Tom Wilkinson, the great, you know, character and Shakespearean actor Tom Wilkinson, basically plays the same role in Sleeping Dogs. He's in that as well. Yes, he is, and he's also the English villain of Hong Kong that you find out, you know, isn't actually, you know, helping you out, but is, you know.
Wow, yeah, that is. I mean, it's like basically Rush Hour.
Yeah.
Was that on purpose for Sleeping Dogs, or because I never played it actually?
You know, I was gonna say, yeah, I think so because it was like the game's like it was a Square Enix game. I remember like it being one of the like first kind of really big Xbox 360 like free games that I downloaded.
Yep,
way back in the day, and I thought it's like just like the game's just like a giant homage to like John Woo and Jackie Chan movies, like with the being set in Hong Kong, police fighting triad and all of that. So
gotcha.
It was okay. I didn't think it plays like it's just another GTA clone.
Yeah,
but nothing bad. You know.
Cool. All right, so let's take a break real quick before we get into the movie. Talk about the beer that we got on the show today. I was tasked with getting it today, and I did not have a chance to really go out to get anything. So it was more a choice of convenience than anything else, which I happen to have this beer in my fridge because my coworker got it for me. So appreciate that. But anyway, you know, we haven't done it before, and I don't think we've ever had Adirondack Brewing on here, or maybe once or twice, like very, very minimally, which is another local-ish brewery close to us in Lake George, New York. And if you've ever heard of like Six Flags Great Escape or anything like that, that's the same area. So I thought, you know what, let's do this one because we know we've never covered it, an Adirondack beer, or haven't really done much on them, and it would be worthwhile to just take a look at that. So, and you know, throw back to local breweries. So Again, Adirondack Brewery, it's really, it's a microbrewery, small. They are, a big name in Lake George, of course, because it's like one of two in that local vicinity. And they do a pretty good business there, I think, in the summer. Good food, good atmosphere, nice outdoor area. Nice to stop in, especially if you're going to go into the Lake George Village area, which is, kind of a touristy attraction with a beach.
Oh, it's definitely a tourist trap.
Yeah. And, both of us have been there, sometimes together. And it's a nice little place to go visit. They don't do a whole lot of different beers there. I think they have a rotational different IPA that they brew occasionally. Other than that, though, I think they do stick to some tried and true elements, and they don't, it's not like they're pumping out, 4 or 5 different beers at a time. They generally have their normal brews. The one that we have on here today is the Lake George IPA, which is, I believe, probably one of their standard beers that they would have pretty much year round. I don't think they really vary it that much. What's the other one that they are often known for that's like their staple? Is it the brown ale?
Yeah, the Bare Naked Amber.
Yeah, the bear. Oh, okay, it's amber. Yeah, the Bare Naked Amber is another. I think that's like their staple beer, the one they start with, and the one that would be the most
recognizable,
well known and recognized around here. Yeah,
they have like almost 15 beers on tap right now. So
yeah. I mean, like, they do a good number, but again, I would say that they don't have a huge rotation. I mean, I think they have most of those on tap year round, because I've been there a few times, and they have a couple different change outs, but for the most part they brew the same stuff throughout, and that seems to work for them, and they don't really seem like they need to expand on that anymore, so it's good for them, and nice to support. What do you think about the Lake George IPA?
It's been a long time since I've had one, and it's been a long time since I've actually had like an Adirondack. They're kind of especially in New York terms, like they're the Saranac of the Adirondacks.
Sure. Yeah.
At one point in like 10 years ago, they did have pretty good distribution around here. They had a lot of like stuff going around, like the Bare Naked Ale, the Bobcat Pilsner, Lake George IPA. They had like a good rotation floating out there, but I think in the Fat Scotsman, like Scotch Ale, I think kind of after COVID, they kind of like went the way of Davidson Brothers, and their distribution, kind of shrank quite a bit, because now it's like you'll see the Bare Naked, kind of around, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But with that being said, it's kind of nice to have just a traditional, early 2010s West Coast style, IPA, where it's, very hot forward. It's not, it's very, got very piney. It has a nice, crispness to it. It's not like this overt, New England style, with,
Yeah, and the funny thing about that is actually Adirondack does call this a New England style IPA.
Yeah, and it's not, though. There's no... Yeah,
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I was looking at it too, but it's definitely not, because it has like a very, like the tropical fruit is it's like grapefruity, but it's incredibly like piney, incredibly rosiny.
Yeah.
You definitely get that 6.8 alcohol heat to the end of it. I think if them calling it New England is being very generous and loose with the term, because again, it tastes like a traditional West Coast IPA. I like it. For the summer and the heat wave that we've been having, would I be breaking these out? No. But come fall, be a nice, heavier IPA to enjoy by the fire.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you're in the area, check them out. Especially if you're up in Lake George itself, proper. It's a nice little place. They do have really good food. A lot to enjoy there. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. I think that this is a really solid IPA. Again, I don't really think it is a New England style as they're billing it. It's more so what you said, sort of a West Coast style. Does have a nice citrus quality to it, but it is very piney. It's got a nice hop forward profile to it. And I think it's overall solid, especially considering, the smaller microbrewery aspect of it. It does a good job with what it's tasked to do. And I think it makes sense to be a staple, kind of a flagship for Adirondack, especially considering its namesake of being named after the town that they're from. So I think it all makes sense. Really nice. Very drinkable, very sessionable. I think that you can't go wrong with this type of IPA, of course. And again, it is kind of few and far between to actually find something like a, very standard West Coasty style IPA anymore, because everybody's kind of moving towards those hazies. So it's kind of nice and refreshing to have that. So I appreciate that for sure. Again, if you're in the area, Lake George, New York, visiting from Canada or something, check it out. Check out Adirondack Brewery right there in the heart of the village of Lake George. Nice place.
Take a ride in the Minnehaha.
Do that before you go to the brewery and have your dinner in case you get seasick.
I don't know if it's still there, but I do know Lake George has one of 3 A&Ws still operating in the state.
Still there. Yep. Mm-hmm.
What is,
Stop in and have your root beer float as well. I know. It's pretty cool, though. I've never been there, honestly. It is strange because we've had, it's fairly close. And, my mom actually really liked A&Ws. I think at one point, it was something that she would go to quite often because they used to have a lot more. But for every reason, I've just never been there.
You're not missing out because A&W root beer, trash. You get Barks.
Barks has bite. It is true. I do prefer Barks as well. I like that more crispy.
And Mug is even the garbage.
Not a fan of the more sugary sweet root beers.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that bite. How about a sarsaparilla?
Yeah. I love sarsaparilla. That's the one good thing about Runnings being here now is,
Yes.
is the fact you can stop in there and be oh, there's a sarsaparilla.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That is
with
nice.
your pickled pig feet and,
It's beautiful. All right, let's talk about Rush Hour.
A Brett Ratner film.
A Brett Ratner.
Do you think when this film was being made, because how old do you think Jackie Chan was when this film was being made?
What would I say? 48.
Close, 44.
40. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. Why? What were you thinking? You think he looks younger than his age?
No. I was gonna say it's just I feel it just I can just imagine Brett being now Jackie, make sure you do this, and him yeah, I've already directed a shit ton of films.
Right, yeah.
Coordinated my own stunts and everything that are much better than... Okay, whatever. The Weinsteins are here. Hi. Yep.
I can imagine they're this is how we do it in America, Jackie. I know you think you know what you're talking about, but because almost like how they treat him in the movie.
The film,
right? Yeah. Because I could see that happening. Now I don't know for sure. Again, I'm not a.
No, I don't think it happened. But I'm just saying
we should find an expert on Rush Hour.
It's just funny to think though, because it's all right,
It would be nice if we found an expert to speak on the production of Rush Hour and talk about all that, because it does look kind of fun. Again, at the keeping in the Jackie Chan tradition, at the end of the movie there are outtakes, which is often the case with many other Jackie Chan films, which I am now well versed in thanks to you with the podcast. So it seems like
that's our cultural exchange here. You got
that's right.
me to watch these Italian giallos and Poliziotteschi, and I'm here to give you Jackie Chan martial arts films.
That's right. Yeah. And so, but I think the interesting thing about Rush Hour is, again, like you said, this was really Jackie Chan's big breakthrough hit for the United States, and it it makes sense. I mean, when you really stop and watch this film, it is a good melding of Jackie Chan's, Hong Kong cinema, the martial arts films that he would produce, and this sort of buddy cop comedy element that the United States is, more well known for, irreverent sort of comedies, teamed with like an action film atmosphere. Again, we've covered numerous action films in the 90s. There was this really sort of sort of seedy underbelly to all of these types of films, where it was like on the cusp of where the normal world and the criminal world are sort of like coming together. You'd have this henchman nemesis sort of weird feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but it was sort of like an overcast of just over the surface. There's like this criminal enterprise that you're just not well versed in that's happening, and they all had a very similar feel. And I think Rush Hour continues that feel even in. I think you're
thinking of the opening for the action film of all the 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
with the kids and the punks, handing off the stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I think that's a perfect encapsulation, because again, it was the films were somewhat serious about the criminality that they were presenting, but at the same time, it had sort of like a, I don't know, anti-realism to it at times. Of like,
it's more, comic-y, like.
Yeah, it was like, the criminal enterprises can't be run like this, right? Because otherwise, what a kind of goofy thing that would be going on, is if all these henchmen are doing this,
Well, just think, if Splinter, has, just all these gangs of teenagers running around.
Yes.
We're handing off what? I don't fucking know. The turtles like Domino's. We're Pizza Hut. We're handing out coupons to the Pizza Hut.
I think that's a perfect encapsulation. And it was there was danger, but also it was kind of goofy in a way, and didn't necessarily play itself up extremely seriously. And I think you get that same idea with Rush Hour, which is, again, taking Jackie Chan's Hong Kong film approach and sort of shoving it into the United States. And quite literally, I mean, it is basically seeing this Chinese embassy in the United States. So it's sort of like a mashup of the two cultures coming together. And I think that works really well. From the whole perspective of how the film is presented, from the poster artwork, which you see, sort of red Jackie Chan on one side, blue Chris Tucker on the other, or the other poster artwork that you get, which is like a reddish pink Jackie Chan and a yellow Chris Tucker. I do like how they tried to defy the racial undertones there of let's not put Jackie Chan in the yellow section, just in case.
Why?
It would be misconstrued there.
It would fit the tone of the film.
It would, but yes. But yeah, I think that's a perfect encapsulation. It works really well, I think. I mean, the whole idea of a buddy cop film being two different people coming together works really well here, as Jackie Chan being a person, that's basically not even visited.
He's a fish out of water. So he's
exactly.
It's even more so, out of place than Lethal Weapon. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, where it's just I got a different partner who doesn't play by the rules. I mean, and that's
I do like to how the film makes fun of that, with Chris Tucker being I don't need no partner, and then with the captain being yeah, we need somebody to go around blowing shit up, you're the guy, you're Charles Bronson, you're Dirty Harry Callahan, let's go.
That is great, yeah, because when he gets called into the, just after he's blown up a bunch of C4 on the square, and you're trying to take down a dealer, and he gets called into the office because he's, basically not performed his duties by the policy, And it makes it seem like he's getting like this really nice promotion to go to work with the FBI, and it's really just a shit job that no one wants. It's a great moment. I love that line where Chris Tucker's like, I'm going to make you mayor. And the police commissioner's like, I would rather you not.
You're not.
It's fucking funny. It's got like some nice witty banter there that I think works really well. And I mean, like, what do you think about the whole setup of the film, which is basically the Chinese consul is coming to America, and his daughter gets kidnapped by a bunch of ruffians.
I do like it. The opening is very like, kind of like traditional, like Hong Kong, like style, like on the water.
Yep.
There's boats, detective, Jackie Chan showing up to, not just detective inspector, showing up to try to stop this Juntao criminal organization. And he doesn't do anything, but save, some artifacts, which are very precious. And they're like, you just destroyed the Juntao criminal organization, hurrah! And you see, like, his, it's kind of weird. They don't really ever explain why, like, Jackie Chan, like, gives such a shit about, Consul Han, because he's just, like, a diplomat. And why is this Hong Kong policeman practically acting like a bodyguard for him?
Yeah.
But, and Han gets promoted as consul and he's going to America, and Tom Wilkinson's giving him the nice, we'll see you in LA. Have a great time.
Yeah.
Great. And yeah, it's like a nice little setup.
I like
the dichotomy between Jackie Chan's, very politeness to Chris Tucker's incredibly brash and annoying shit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I really like the opening of the film, which feels very much like a Hong Kong cinema film. It's got the setup, the action. I even like the theme music, which I think was really well done. Very very catchy tune that they use. I wish they used it more, to be honest with you. And they only really use it at the beginning of the film as sort of like kind of a setup for the premise, rather than anything like that stays with the film throughout with the theme. But I think that works really well because you get the action, you get Jackie Chan getting to do some of his more traditional stunt work, which is kind of few and far between in this movie. It doesn't happen often. It does show up here and there, but it's not like the focal point of this film, like something like Rumble in the Bronx would have. Because it's, not all fisticuffs. There's a lot of, shootouts as well, which again is like a melding of the style. I think it works really well. It's, it especially starting it off that way is a really strong start. I think like the kidnapping of the little girl is also, it's well done to kidnap her with like how they kind of like just come in really quick, shoot the bodyguards, and then whisk her away on a motorcycle that drives her into a van. It's very well done. I feel like the setup though is kind of like haphazard, and then it's just like we have a little girl that we're gonna blow up. It's like kind of like a tug at the heartstrings, but not really anything that is too interesting for the film. I feel like Rush Hour doesn't really care about the conceit that much. It's more about how we get there. And I think I appreciate that. I don't know if you felt that way too, but like
no, I would agree, and I think it's definitely not too concerned. Like the plot overall isn't the, what they're trying to. They're not trying to be smart.
Yeah. It's kind of like just
like the Hackney. As much as I kind of like it, especially now, the Hackney like shoving in like. What's the trouble, officer? No trouble, just rush hour. Boom, boom. Like, there's no reason for it's like, why is this film called Rush Hour? Like, it's not like the traffic jam during rush hour that they show and like how they do it. It's just like, as even though like that's like kind of how they get there. But again, like it's just kind of like Rush Hour.
Yeah, the audience is left pointing at the screen like, they said the name. They said
Roll credits.
Actually, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember credits on this. I don't think there is an initial credits for Rush Hour. Is there?
Yes, it's like quickly says like Rush Hour, like you kind of like Rumble in the Bronx, like over like the water, and it's just like
oh really? Okay, yeah, I must have missed it.
And as Jackie Chan's like going onto the boat, you see like like starring Jackie Chan and like
gotcha. I didn't catch it. I guess
it's very like it's muted, like it's not like this big opening credits for it. So
I only remembered at the end you do get that large Rush Hour that comes in at the end of the film, but I did not remember the opening credits at all. But yeah, thought that was interesting. So again, with the buddy cop formula too, when we get Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan together, what do you think about how the film treats both of them? Especially considering that they both are technically like our heroes for the film. Do you think they did a good job with like managing both of their screen time?
Yes, but I think Chris Tucker gets a little too much time compared to Jackie Chan. I get it. I get it. He's supposed to be the funny guy, but for fuck's sake, I mean, You
think he's a little bit too much?
It's not that like he's too much. Like it's kind of like, and I love the film, and I'm not saying it's bad either in this film, but it is like a little too much. Like it's like they're like, hey man, you know what you did on Friday? Like you got knocked the fuck out, man. It's Smokey. We need you to just do that the entire film. Like
yeah.
He's got too many lines like for punchlines. Because half of them like land and the other half, don't. So, I mean, he's not bad. I just think, especially now, like it kind of like seems like much more annoying at times.
I mean, I think he does bring a good energy to the film. I won't say that I think he's always funny, but I do like the fact that he has a lot of energy. It sort of brings a chaos to it that works when he's on screen. I had to laugh at times when he like picks up the phone in the FBI agent's office when he's talking to the one henchman in Jintao's group, and he like is saying things like, you know what, we'll split the money. I don't even like these guys anyways. I'm not going to be working for them much longer. Stuff like that. So I think it works sometimes. But yeah, I think he gets a little bit more screen time than Jackie Chan. I'm not sure if that's also because Jackie Chan did not speak like great English at this time. I don't know. What do you think?
His English was still fine.
I mean, if you watch in the credit sequence, it still seemed like he did have some issues with like delivering English lines occasionally. So I don't know if that was just like part of it or what, but or they thought maybe Chris Tucker would be more recognizable for American audience.
I think it's more like lean into because he's the American star.
Yeah.
New lines like, we want Jackie Chan to become popular, but at the same time, like, if he's not, we better lean into...
Yeah, I mean, at this time, though, Chris Tucker was really not that big of a star either. How much do you think you would be able to lean into Chris Tucker being the big time?
Well, that's the funny thing, too. You look at his filmography, it's like 10 films.
Yeah.
3 of them being Rush Hour.
Right.
Which I like,
That's what I mean. I mean, like, I don't know. You might think that, but I feel like maybe Jackie Chan would have been the bigger draw. It's like for most people, I don't know that Chris Tucker would really have, been like no one was like sitting around, I don't think, in 1998 being like, oh, the new Chris Tucker movie's coming out. I don't know.
Especially because the Fifth Element's like a cult classic now. It's not like it was this,
right. Like, I don't know. I mean, I was 9 at the time, so I don't know if people was talking about Chris Tucker too much back then, but I generally don't hear him, talked about very often. But I think one thing I do like about the movie and how it manages the buddy cop formula is that initially, they're kind of at odds with each other. So you do get that whole sequence of events towards the beginning where Chris Tucker's been tasked with like basically just keeping Lee away from the console at all times, and he's performing a babysitting service, and then Jackie Chan's constantly slipping away in like more and more outlandish things that keep occurring. I like that. I think that works really well. It sort of sets up and again, I think that's part of the reason why this film does not need a really like elaborate conceit for the actual bad guys, because it does, for probably a good 30 minutes of the film, it is managing other things besides the kidnapping. So I think it makes sense to not really have to rely on like an actual criminal conceit to get that across. So I like that. I think that's good. And the other thing I really like about the buddy cop formula is that in this scenario, neither of the two are really incapable of doing things, right? Because sometimes buddy cop formulas, they kind of rely on like, you've got like the really sharp partner, and then you've got the person who doesn't really know what they're doing. And that's sort of the comedy of like, laugh at the other person that doesn't really know what they're doing that much. In this case, they're both pretty capable. And I think the film kind of goes out of its way to show that Chris Tucker's character, though he doesn't really get a lot of recognition in the LAPD, he does do a pretty good job. He's got contacts. He knows who to reach out to in this case, like that the other, the FBI agents and the LAPD don't really know what to do about. So I like that they make him a fairly capable person, especially with gunshots and shootouts. He's pretty good at that part of it. And then Jackie Chan, on the other hand, is really good at the more martial arts part of it, and kind of they trade off on teaching each other those things. I like that. I like that, element to it, that they both have things to bring to the table. How do you feel about the martial arts in this movie?
They're muted compared to other films. But when they happen, they are fun. They are get you going like, ooh, like the stunts and stuff that Jackie does. So it is I think like a good mild showing of what his films can be, Jackie's films and stunts can be like. So to sate the American appetite, yeah, I think it's they're not bad.
I think like you said, they're fairly muted in terms of like what you get compared to something like Police Story. And again, you have to wonder if at a certain point people were like, no, this is America. We're a little bit we have safety laws around here, something like that, where they kind of encouraged the less risky stunts that Jackie Chan would often pull. But at the same time, we get a sense of the martial arts, but I feel like this one definitely doesn't have it nailed down.
And I think also too, because it is a action comedy, that they're not trying to go like, it doesn't have to be Police Story with its level of action, and stunts and thrills, because it's, again, the comedy and action have to have like a balance in between for like, so yeah, it would seem out of place like if there's like Police Story level stunts, and then you got like, damn, what kind of panties you wearing?
Yeah. One thing we haven't talked about too is how damn awesome Rex Lynn's mustache is in this movie.
Who is Rex Lynn?
The one agent that's
I know.
Not the guy. Oh yeah.
No, I don't know. I know. Who is Rex Lynn? What is he in?
Better Call Saul.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Who is he?
Wachtel. Kevin Wachtel. The
CEO of Mesa Verde.
Exactly. I love the mustache is great in this movie.
And
excellent.
It is. And you're also forgetting Mark Rolston of Saw fame.
True. I mean, fame? Let's not use that willy-nilly here, but yes, he is in it as well. And then you also got Elizabeth Pena as Agent Johnson, who is she's got like some, that 90s single white female sort of like flat cut hair going on.
She saw Hackers with Angelina Jolie.
That's true. That's right. That's right.
She's like, I bought into this.
Yeah, hook, line, and sinker. Got the hair. But and she's like kind of Chris Tucker's supposed to be partner, but he doesn't really want to partner up with her. And then eventually becomes a very big part of the conclusion, where she is able to disarm the bomb that's on the little girl, which I thought kind of came out of nowhere, especially considering.
No, because they show her like as like somebody who's on the bomb squad.
Yeah, they show her like in training is basically saying like, you're shit at this. Like maybe go elsewhere. Try a different department like Trek Cop, because you can't handle.
Wow, how very meninist of you.
I'm not saying meninist. She literally, and then at the end of the film, it's of course too. You've got Jackie Chan and the little girl. And she's disarming the bomb vest, and she's going basically like eeny, meeny, miny, mo on the wires. She's doing like, roses are red, violets are blue. I cut the green cord just because hopefully you don't blow up. It's basically what happens.
I thought it was roses are red, violets are blue, my pussy's pink, and so are you.
Yeah. It's doesn't. I feel like if you were in that situation, you would not feel like you were in capable hands with someone. Basically saying
you've obviously never played Streets of True Crime Streets of LA.
Yeah.
She's fun though. She is fun when she's on screen. Like the whole when they're like talking to Chris Tucker on the phone and they're like, he's like, this is bullshit. And they're like, oh, don't worry, at least you finally got partnered. And the precinct's laughing at him,
What do you think about Chris Tucker's character name being Jimmy Carter? It's just funny to me. I'm like wondering why. What was the overall reasoning for this film to have his name Jimmy Carter?
It's just a
fun little,
just a fun name, Doesn't he look like Jimmy Carter?
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, the film also gets in a reference to Chelsea Clinton.
God, that's great. Dates it real nice and well. And I do love and appreciate in the blooper reel where he's like, hey, what do you think you are? Kelsey
Clinton, or then Chelsea Grammer. I like that one a lot too. Chelsea Grammer.
What's the name? Those look like those were like, like kind of like Toy Story with the bloopers. Kind of like, those are like
made up. Yeah.
Yeah, made up bloopers, but it's still funny,
Yeah, I appreciate it. I definitely do. But and again, I think like, some of them are probably real. Some of them maybe were played up for the, for the bloopers. But yeah, I like that quite a bit. I thought that was pretty funny. Including Chelsea Clinton in this film. It definitely does, like you said, it really dates it. People watching now, you're like, who? Oh. Who's that?
Was she on Epstein Island?
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. And I guess so we didn't. You basically said this when we were talking about Sleeping Dogs, but what do you think about the main bad guy being Tom Wilkinson, who has been present throughout the whole part of the movie?
Fine. Tom Wilkinson does a great job. He's very smarmy, very fits the idea of like sophisticated, Englishman that's actually the villain. Little known fact that people probably don't know. This takes place around the time where Hong Kong's, being returned from Great Britain back to China. That's the whole premise of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Hong Kong's.
Yeah, right.
Excuse me, is being returned back to China. And in the real world, that also meant, though, that, Hong Kong still would have some independence and not be, completely, democratic, People's Democratic Republic.
Mm-hmm.
So, get the. But I think the idea is kind of cool. of like Tom Wilkinson being the bad guy, because again, he's spent all this money and time curating and collecting these great Chinese artifacts, and then the British government is taking them and is giving them back, and that being the conceit of, you know, him taking on, you know, trying to take the consul's daughter and get a monetary value of what he deems those artifacts are worth.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, why would this consul's daughter be kidnapped? It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So like it is a smart setup, and I like it. And I think, you know, Tom Wilkinson, he's not like overly present in the film. But I do think he's great, and I think it is, you know, good, because I think Shang, his second in command, you know, Chinese Eminem, he doesn't have like, you know, he doesn't have like, you know, big bad guy energy. He definitely has, you know, sidekick energy. Not the saying that's bad, because he is good and very enjoyable. But I think that's a great setup. My only problem is when it comes to the ending of the film, like, a man that's apparently as smart and cunning as Tom Wilkinson, when they're at that, you know, gallery for all those artifacts that he wants back and the money, he wouldn't just be like, when Chris Tucker's like, hey, there's a bomb! He wouldn't just be like, go up to Shang and be like, I'm gonna blow everything up, you little fuckers. Like, there's no reason for him to do that. He could sneak upstairs, get the money, because the FBI is being stupid, and like, we're gonna give the money back. You know, Clinton said give the money back. Mm-hmm. And like, there's no reason for that to happen. It's very idiotic and stupid. I get it for the conceit of the story, but like, it's just like, what? You know, like,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, I like him as a character. I think it works pretty well. But again, I think you're right. You don't really need to stop and think too hard about the plotting. It's not the film's strong point, and I don't, you know, at the end of the film, the conclusion is nice. It's got like nice shootouts and, you know, eventful things, climbing up the poles and everything that Jackie Chan does and falling off the balcony. But again, yeah, don't think too hard about it, because it doesn't really hold up to scrutiny.
It'll hurt your head.
Yeah. I do like, though, at the end where you've got Jackie Chan fighting, you know, against all the guys, and he's being very careful about all the the ancient priceless Chinese artifacts, trying to protect them all, and there's just like gunshots everywhere, blowing up giant urns and things like that after he's protected them. It's a really nice touch, because again, that definitely has the feeling of a Jackie Chan, you know, Hong Kong film, and that a lot of like the action was situated around like actual objects, you know, object play, like whipping. There's actually one scene I think that was really cool where he whips like it's like a pylon or something, like a rope holder, whatever the fuck you call those things, at one of the henchmen, and that comes out really well. But it's something that you don't really see that often in Rush Hour, is like all of the object play that would generally happen in a Jackie Chan Hong Kong movie. So it's nice to see that in the conclusion. I think that happens there, and it happens in the bar, the black bar that Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan stop in early on in the film when he has to like jump over the pool tables and stuff. But other than that, this film kind of leaves that out. It doesn't really have the signature Jackie Chan style. What else? Anything else that we didn't discuss that you wanted to get to?
Anything else you want to?
I think I covered everything I had on my topics.
Really? I think missed opportunity for the film to be set in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
To really have like a big Chinatown and like lean into that.
Yep.
Oh, we didn't talk about the racism.
That's true. We didn't talk about that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, as I say, you were the one to point it out. You're like, oh,
I mean, it definitely, like early on, it definitely has a lot of, you know, fairly racist jokes, and that's sort of like its jumping off point for the meeting between the two. I think it's you know, it's definitely purposeful racism as well. It's sort of like, first of all, they think they're very different from each other, so there's that like those racist undertones. And then as they work together more and more, they find out, oh, we're actually very similar, like the whole father thing.
We both like chicken rice-a-roni.
Yeah. And I feel like that works out pretty well. I don't know. What do you think? Does it excuse the racist jokes or?
I mean, they're not bad.
They're not bad. They're not.
I don't think that he's not running around calling them like slurs. The one, the one FBI agent does when like he's like, I don't need ching chong cop. You know?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But other than that, like they're very just tepid. Like I like nothing, especially now that like it's not like smart racist jokes like in Blazing Saddles or anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like there, and they're like when he's like, oh, Mr. Raceroni, it's like, oh, like
yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think they're like super offensive or anything, and I think it works towards a goal, so I think that's fine.
The other thing we forgot to mention: everyone's fourth favorite Penn brother, Chris Penn's in this film.
Chris Penn, yep,
great performance.
Doesn't get to do a whole lot, but
nobody he gets to be Chris Penn.
I know,
and Chris Penn, Corky Romano, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I love Chris Penn. Whenever I see him show up, I think he does a good job. He has that sort of like smarmy attitude. I think works pretty well in this movie.
I do love the fact that he's like the C4 dealer.
Yeah.
And like Chris Tucker's shooting at him as he's going away after like the beginning of the deal going bad. He's like, I got C4 in here. What the fuck are you doing? He jumps out and the car blows up and Chris Tucker's like, yeah.
Yeah,
because then when his captain's like, you blew up half a block, and he's like, that block sucked anyway, like that's good, that's funny.
I agree. I think it's pretty good. One other thing that we did not talk about: the Chinese food. Did it make you want Chinese food?
I'm like, I really want Chinese food bad, but they're about to close up, so. But man, I really want some lo mein.
It really made me want Chinese food.
I really just want a mountain of lo mein and a mountain of egg rolls and a mountain of.
And I do question who turns up their nose at lo mein, because that's what Chris Tucker does in this film. He's in the Chinese restaurant. And he's looking at the menu. He's already tried eel and he liked it. Then they walk by with a platter of lo mein and he sniffs it. And he's like, no.
Is that look like fried rice?
I think it was lo mein.
Either way, if it's fried rice or lo mein.
True.
But then he's like, how's that camel's hump? And it's like,
camel's hump.
Yes, the camel, native to all regions. Yeah, no, I definitely want some Chinese food.
Yeah, this film is one that will definitely make you want Chinese food. All right, so let's give this film a rating on a scale of 0 to 10. Pimpin' cherry red suits.
Oh, that suit is lovely.
That is I had like, it was difficult to look at my screen when that suit was on screen because it was so. I imagine if it was in HDR, man, it'd just be fucking blasting you in the eyes. But
nice 4K.
Absolutely. Out of a 0 to 10 cherry red suits, what would you give Rush Hour?
I give it a 7.5. It still holds up. It's still a great, fun film. It's not like gonna blow you away with being incredibly smart or anything, but it's just fun. It's a fun, great little action comedy from the 90s where Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan have success, and they are fun. They are comedic. Though I was shitting on Chris Tucker, he still is funny in this. I just think he can be a little too over the top and hyperactive at times. I think again that's more script than it is him himself, because he is a bigger focal point of the film than Jackie Chan. But it's a great entry film to if this is a film that I would recommend to people if they're interested in Jackie Chan films, to see his style of action, style of humor, style of stunts, because it definitely can lead you into the films we've done before, like Police Story, Rumble in the Bronx, and then maybe someday like Armor of the Gods and stuff like that. It's a great, great melding of the styles, American like action comedy, Hong Kong, Jackie Chan, Hong Kong style. It's a lot of fun. Tom Wilkinson's great. It's a great, fun little movie. At an hour and a half, hour and 38 minutes, it's a breeze. Just watch it. If you haven't seen it yet, there's no reason for you not to. At one point, it was a big part of the cultural zeitgeist, so check it out. 7.5.
Definitely agree. I would say 7.5 as well. It's right up right what I was thinking. It's a very fun film. I really don't have many criticisms of it. I think it's just fun to watch. It has its moments of comedy, of action, exactly what you're looking for. I think that, again, you said it, at an hour and 37 minutes, it's like right on with how long it needs to be. Doesn't overstay its welcome or anything like that. I think that it's fairly funny. I think I actually do enjoy Chris Tucker for the most part. I think he brings a nice energy to the movie that it needs. Jackie Chan being a little bit more muted here. And I think that it has a nice melding of, the elements of a Jackie Chan Hong Kong film and a more Americanized version of an action film. It works really well together. It's probably one of the greatest encapsulation of buddy cop films. And overall, just a really entertaining, enjoyable watch. I guess I meant to ask you, do you prefer Rush Hour 1 or Rush Hour 2 more? We won't even go with Rush Hour 3.
I think Rush Hour 1, but Rush Hour 2 is also great too. So
I like the whole element of them meeting in Rush Hour 1. I feel like that adds like a nice conflict to this movie that I can, that Rush Hour 2 probably does not have. It's been a while since I've seen it. But, I think that Rush Hour 2, of course, would have more of them like arguing. But here they're really meeting each other and kind of learning from each other. And I think that works pretty great in this movie. All right, so that's Rush Hour. First movie of our Red Hot 90s action summer, Reloaded. Are we revealing what we're doing next?
Why not?
Okay. I think the next film that we're going to cover is Total Recall.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Total Recall. Again, like I said,
from 2015.
No, not that one.
Damn.
I think, like I said before, we have picked a nice variability, of different films, and we're going to be covering this sci-fi action film, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, who we've also had previously in our Red Hot Summer series. Be fun.
Man. That movie poster is so Star Trek Next Gen.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, or like Stargate.
It looks like it have fucking Picard on there.
Yeah. So tune in for our next episodes, and we'll be here all August long doing Red Hot 90s Action Summer. So should be fun. Got 3 more movies in store for you. Thanks for listening to our episode. I hope you enjoyed it. You can find us on any podcast app that you listen to. Just search for us on there and subscribe and review. That always helps us out. We're on Facebook and Blue Sky. You can like or subscribe or whatever you do on those. And, comment. Tell us what you think about the show. We have an email address at bloodandblackrunpodcast@gmail.com, where you can write to us. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what movies you want us to cover, and we'll keep that in mind. And we have a Patreon or our donations at Spotify. Whatever you donate goes back towards beer, so we appreciate that in advance. Make sure you stay tuned in for our Red Hot 90s Action Summer continuing all August long. And until next time,
take care.